Buying a home, it's likely the most money you will ever spend at one time. Make sure you have a real estate team you can trust on your side, helping you every step of the way. Welcome back to the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show with one of the most trusted realtors in Windsor, Essex, Dan Gemus.
Okay, Joyce, we're back on the other side of the half-hour mark here. The show is just flying by, as always.
Every weekend.
Every weekend. Joyce Blackmere in studio with me again today, and all weekend.
All weekend.
Dan and Joyce.
Lucky.
Lucky me. We are on with you every Saturday and Sunday from noon to 1 here on AM800. And Joyce, we mentioned this a bit yesterday, but you and I, people don't realize how much work goes into planning these shows.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a lot of work. And we do. One topic we love covering is just, anything about history, local history across Windsor, Essex County. And one thing that you and I have had enough of is research and work. So it's hard enough to plan.
I don't know about work, but
we love working.
Extra work.
Extra research. And so we said, you know what? It's a lot of work to cover because we want to do a really good job covering these various stories and these various, historical buildings and stuff like that. So we said, who else could do it? And you said, wait a second, I know just the person.
Yeah, 100%.
Look at that.
We're really fortunate because Taylor Blackmere, my son, is going to join us every month for a local history segment. He's just wrapping up the tail end of his master's degree at the University of Windsor in history.
Of course.
So,
how apropos.
Yes, absolutely. So no one better to make sure that people got the facts straight.
Now, welcome, Taylor. Welcome to the first segment of the year.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, great to have you. So, tell everyone a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I am currently finishing my master's at the University of Windsor. I am specializing in history. And I am very passionate about the local history sector, especially in Windsor and Essex County.
Yeah.
I find it incredibly interesting, so it's something that I am very happy to share with everybody.
So your mom has been keeping me apprised of all these different things you've been doing throughout the last few years with this program, and I want you to give us a sneak peek, because you talked about a tour at Motown, and you tell us about that a little bit, because that was really neat.
Well, that was more of a personal
Still,
trip.
whatever, I want to hear about
it.
Tell us about it a bit.
Yeah, so we went to the Motown Museum in Detroit, Michigan.
That was like about a year or two ago?
Yeah, back in the spring. Yeah, we went. I went as an excuse for research, but it was more so a personal trip as well. I am focusing on Black history, especially in the music sector in Detroit, so no perfect place then to go to Motown.
Sure. Oh my gosh, my dad went years ago. I haven't gone.
Oh, it's awesome.
I know, you guys really, Joyce was telling me all about it, and it sounds amazing, so I have to make it there for
Absolutely.
sure. So throughout, we'll do this once a month, this local history segment. And today, for the first segment, what are we covering?
So we'll be focusing on the Amherstburg Freedom Museum, of course, located in Amherstburg, Ontario.
Yes.
So Amherstburg holds some of the most powerful stories of the Underground Railroad. It makes sense to just explore the Amherstburg Freedom Museum, a place dedicated to preserving these stories and honoring the legacy of African Canadians who sought freedom in Canada.
Now, the museum has been there a very long time. I'm sure you'll get to it. I actually made it out there for the first time last year, which it's in our backyard.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
What a great place. They've got a great staff there. So I'm sure they'll be very happy that you're covering this topic today. So tell us a bit about the museum.
Absolutely. So the museum story begins in 1975. It was founded by Betty and Max Simpson. They were a husband and wife duo who shared a vision to preserve and celebrate Black history in Canada. Many of the individual stories that are captured at the museum are descendants of freedom seekers who fled from the United States seeking liberation in Canada. Actually, in 1971, the congregation of the Nazarene AME Church, just located beside the museum, they were only 5 members strong at the time, but they purchased the property next to the church in 1971, and with the dedication and help and support of all local government, they were able to establish it officially in 1981, opening their doors to the public.
Could you imagine 5 members strong?
Yeah. Well, hey,
isn't that something?
There's a will, there's a way.
Yeah,
right?
no, it just goes to show you, right?
Yep.
At the end of the day. Okay, so why was Amherstburg such an important place for the Underground Railroad? That's a question that's often asked. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so located along the Detroit River, Amherstburg was a major terminus on the Underground Railroad. It was often the final stop for freedom seekers who were escaping the U.S. As they crossed the river from Michigan into freedom into Canada, Amherstburg was a beacon of hope. It became a home to a growing community of former freedom seekers pursuing safety and opportunity. As well, the AME Church, which is a part of the Amherstburg Freedom Museum, it was a stop on the Underground Railroad, otherwise known as a terminus. So it was central to the museum, and the church was named after Bishop Willis Nasry. The church was built in 1848, and it provided shelter, support, food, clothing for freedom seekers crossing over. And it was also a spot for Black individuals to come together and celebrate in a sanctuary, essentially. So it was a physical symbol of freedom, and many of people who passed through its doors had risked everything to get there.
So incredible.
Yeah.
So incredible.
I can only imagine the stories.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned Mac and Betty Simpson earlier.
Yes.
What was their impact?
Yeah, so the museum itself would not be here without the dedication that Mac and Betty put in. They dedicated their whole lives to preserving the Black heritage within Canada and Amherstburg especially. So Mac was the driving force. He was the founder of the museum. He unfortunately passed away shortly after the museum opened. However, Betty remained she remained committed to the cause, essentially. She helped the museum flourish and made sure the mission still stayed intact. Mac's contributions were actually recognized by Amherstburg. Mac and Betty were actually named Citizens of the Year. And in Michigan as well, Mac was honored with a memorial testimonial resolution for his work in preserving Black heritage.
Fantastic. Oh my goodness! Now, I mentioned I've been in the museum. Joyce, you've been there as well. How can people make their way out there?
Yeah, so the Amherstburg Freedom Museum continues to educate and keep inspiring and keeping the stories alive of those who fought for their freedom. So it's located at 277 King Street in Amherstburg, right next to the Nazarene AME Church. Mm-hmm. Visitors can walk through the history, explore powerful exhibits, and gain a deeper understanding of the sacrifices and victories of those who came before us. Actually, this year, the Amherstburg Freedom Museum is going to be celebrating their 50th anniversary on September 20th.
Wow.
So you can actually go and help support the cause at the Kubota Club in Windsor. So essentially, the story of the Amherstburg Freedom Museum is not just about the past. It's about the enduring legacy of courage, determination, and the fight for equality. This Black History Month and all year round, we honor those who made the journey to freedom and those who continue to preserve their stories for generations to come.
Incredible.
I was Aaron and myself and my father-in-law were fortunate enough to get a tour by none other than Taylor of the museum last summer, I think it was, possibly the summer before, but
one of these last summers.
Time flies. But Taylor used to work at that particular museum.
It was an incredible experience.
Yeah,
I forgot you spent some time there.
Yeah, absolutely incredible.
Oh my
experience.
goodness!
The staff there are lovely.
Yes,
and
they are fantastic.
Extremely helpful. So I can't recommend it enough, getting out there and supporting the museum.
And again, it's one of those things where it's like anything, right? In any municipality, it's right in your backyard, and you often don't think about going to visit these spots, right? And there's the history. So when you walk in, I'm just trying to remember inside. You can. There's a little the old part of the house, right?
Yeah. That is the George Taylor log cabin. So George Taylor, he was a previously enslaved man, and that cabin, he lived in there with his family while he lived in Canada.
Right.
So that is a permanent exhibit, a part of the museum.
And that was not there in Amherstburg. It was moved to there, wasn't it? If I recall?
It's always been located in Amherstburg.
Okay.
The locations are up for speculation,
sure,
but we do know for sure that it was located beside the church at one point, and then once the museum was acquired, it was moved once more to be a permanent exhibit.
Wow. Yeah, it's really neat. If you want to make your way out there, I'm sure you can find them online and just Google the information, and they'll have their hours. And but it's definitely something you want to
absolutely
to learn about.
They have a whole bunch of incredible events leading up to September 20th and for Black History Month as well.
Fantastic. Well, Taylor, great job on your first segment. That's, look at that. I know you were nervous.
Thank you.
But you did great. So, listen, as we move forward throughout the year, I want everyone, if you can think of something that you'd love to learn more about or know more about, in Windsor, Essex County, you know what? Give us a shout.
Yeah,
shoot us an email.
for sure.
Dan@dangemus.com. You can text us here at the station as well at 519-792-2559, and we'll cover some of those topics. But there's so many, right? I'm sure, Taylor, there's so many buildings across Windsor, Essex.
Absolutely.
That we can talk about.
I could definitely use the help with picking some of them out.
I would assume that Hiram Walker's the whole
neighborhood.
The whole neighborhood there would be, we can cover that alone. Joyce, you had mentioned something about
pear trees.
Yes, pear trees.
Yes.
Give us a tease.
So Windsor is well known for the Jesuit pear trees.
Yes.
So, I don't want to get too much into it because it's a very interesting topic, and I don't want to spoil it. But it is a very cool.
Can we do that next?
Sure.
I'm excited about that. I'm very curious about the pear trees.
Yes, absolutely. It's
all
super
right.
Cool.
We'll cover that one next in March. But great job, Taylor, and we look forward to your tips and your information throughout the rest of 2025.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Taylor Blackmere with some historical tips and data and information for us across Windsor, Essex County. We love this kind of stuff. So, Joyce, what do you say we take a break? We're going to come back and cover some more stuff.
Sounds good.
This and that, and a little bit of everything else.
A little bit of real estate.
All right, there you go. A little bit of real estate. Lots more to come right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.